goes in here and welcome to my ranking video on the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Now I know you're all asking, what the fuck am I doing this for? Usually when I do these movie ranking videos, it's to celebrate an occasion or because, you know, a new one came out or something like that. Well, today I'm just doing it because I feel like it, damn it. And recently been rewatching a couple of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and I just realized I kind of want to make a ranking video on these because I got some stuff. I got a lot of things I can say about this movie. I think it can make a pretty entertaining video. So yeah, that's really my reasoning for it. I don't think I really need to dwell on that too much more, so let's get into it. Now, real quick before I get into this, I need to make it very clear that this is the first franchise I will be ranking that actually has some legitimately terrible movies in it. So for that reason, there is gonna be a little bit of, there's gonna be some strong language and some swearing in this video. So now you've been warned. With that being said, everybody, let's get into this. Coming in at the number 8 spot on this list, right? Is there 8? No, there's 9 because of Freddy vs. Jason. Right? Let me make sure I got that right. Okay, I was right. It's 9. Coming in at the number 9 spot on this list is, of course, everybody already knows it. It's Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. This movie is legitimately awful, and everything about it is terrible. The directing is horrible. The score is terrible. The actors are god-awful. The CGI, or whatever the fuck you want to call that at the end with the fucking fish when he explodes. Oh my god, that stuff is awful. That weird 3D switch that they did is so stupid. Everything about that whole thing, like the end when, once again, when the fish come out and it's 3D. So stupid. Oh, and his face coming at the screen and then another face coming out of his face. Oh my god, it's so stupid. Why did this movie get made? Seriously. And then also, of course, the fact that Freddy just sucks in this film and he's still being played by Robert Englund somehow. He sucks so much in this film. You cannot take Freddy seriously in this movie at all. All the deaths are really stupid. Carlos's death is kind of cool. That is something I can give this movie. It is a interesting way to kind of play off the disability. So I do like that. But yeah, that's about the only good thing I'll say about this movie. Like, they introduced this really dumb storyline with this random-ass kid you don't know anything about, John Doe, who's apparently the actual last Elm Street kid, which kind of undoes what they said in part 3. So, yeah, there's that. And then this whole thing with Freddy having this daughter. I've only needed you to get to my daughter. So fucking stupid. Everything about this movie sucks. I think I can really just leave it at that. I don't think there's really any argument to be had here with Freddy's Dead. I think just about everybody has unanimously agreed Freddy's Dead is a terrible film. So with that being said, let's move on. Now that one is just a straight terrible film. Coming in at the number 8 spot on this list is A Nightmare on Elm Street, 2010. I know I probably didn't fool anybody with that, but yes, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. This movie, oh man, I got some things to say about this movie. So it sucks, first of all. It's terrible. And why does it suck? The cast. The cast of this movie is truly awful. Oh, and also the fact that they try and recreate all of these iconic scenes from the original movie just using CGI and shit, and it's so stupid because they're just a straight recreation of the original scene just with CGI, so it's just a downgrade from the practical effects they use in the original movie. But honestly, I could look past that if it wasn't for the cast of this movie. They are all terrible. They are horrible. And specifically, I want to talk in depth about Rooney Mara. Okay, so let me start by saying, apparently this Rooney Mara chick is this really big actress. Well, I had never heard of this actress before I had seen this remake, like, ever. I had never seen a movie with her. I had never heard her name, ever. And apparently she's this huge actress that everybody loves, and she is legitimately awful in this film. She's terrible. And the fact that she's playing Nancy Thompson, the second most iconic character in this franchise, and she is this bad, really should say something. And the thing that oh my goodness, I gotta talk about this. I have heard on numerous occasions, read numerous articles that Rooney Mara took this role for a paycheck. A paycheck. A role as iconic as Nancy Thompson, and she did it to get paid. And it shows. It shows so much. Her performance is terrible in this movie. It is laughable. Mom, did we ever know a guy named Fred Krueger? I don't think so. Okay. Like, it's so fucking awful. And to go from Heather Langenkamp, who was this nobody actress who totally made a name for herself in this movie because she was so great and she's just so memorable in that film because of her portrayal, and she brought so much to the character. And then you get this hotshot actress to play this iconic character, and she does this shit. She has the audacity to do this iconic role for a fucking paycheck. Pisses me off to no extent. You couldn't fathom how mad that made me when I figured that out. So with that being said, I think that's all I'm gonna say for this remake. Fuck this remake, and fuck this remake. The only thing, I will say one thing good about this movie. Jackie Earle Haley is a pretty kick-ass Freddy. I like Jackie Earle Haley as Freddy. And if they ever make another Nightmare on Elm Street movie and Robert Englund can't come back to reprise the role, Jackie Earle Haley will make a fantastic Freddy Krueger, in my opinion. I think he's really, really good. I particularly will say I really like that scene in him when he's in the supermarket and Nancy's on the floor crawling back and he's like knocking stuff off of the counter, and it's like flashing from Nightmare into real world like super fast. So like he would knock the shit down and then it would go to the real world and they would fall down, but it looked like nothing was actually happening. That's a really cool scene. That's about the best I'll give this movie. It's a terrible film. So that is number 8, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. Coming in at number 7, A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child. This fucking movie. Okay. From what I've heard, this movie isn't quite as hated as I probably hate it, and don't worry, you'll see why I hate it. But from what I've heard, people don't hate this movie nearly as much as me for the most part. Now, okay, so I don't even remember this movie that well. I did not rewatch this movie because you know what? Let me just get into it. This movie is the one horror movie that legitimately makes me ill to watch. I cannot watch this movie ever again because it physically makes me want to throw up. It is the grossest movie ever. There are 3 scenes in this movie that make me want to throw up. And in particular, the scene when there's the when there's the weightlifting girl and he comes up and smashes the thing back down and her arms break and she starts turning into a cockroach. That is the one scene in any movie ever that has caused me to legitimately vomit. Yeah, that scene is rough. And I am a fucking Saw fan, for crying out loud. And that is the movie, and a fucking Nightmare on Elm Street scene is the one that made me throw up. Yeah, that should say something. Also, the other 2 scenes, the one when he's like feeding the chick and her mouth is just full, and I hate that image of her mouth just being full, and then it's revealed that it's her own like insides that he's feeding her. Oh, that scene came close as well. And then the last one is the one when the kid is on the motorcycle and the motorcycle starts like fusing into his body. Yeah, I can't watch this movie. It's so gross. And the story's awful. It's terrible. I mean, Freddy is almost as bad as he is in Freddy's Dead in this one. Maybe just a little bit better. His look looks absolutely terrible. He's got this like 50-foot arm, and the makeup looks absolutely terrible. Just a little bit worse than it does in Freddy's Dead. Yeah, this movie's awful. The characters suck. I didn't even like Alice that much. To go from Kristen to Alice, oh my god, I was not on board with that at all. But, like, Jesus Christ, like, the characters are terrible in this movie. And yeah, fuck this movie. All I'll say, honestly, Freddy's Dead, the remake, and this movie are all, in my opinion, like 0 out of 10s. I think they're awful movies, and I'm never gonna rewatch them ever again. Yeah, just truly awful. It's a boy! No, it's a steaming pile of shit. Okay, so that is number 7. Coming in at number 6 is going to be Freddy vs. Jason. Now, from here on out, I like the rest of these movies. I do. From here on out, I like the rest of these movies. But Freddy vs. Jason, it has its issues. Of course, The biggest issue I have with Freddy vs. Jason is that Freddy really takes a back seat in this movie. I know there's that constant argument, you know, Freddy vs. Jason, whose side do you want? I mean, as a fan of both, I would like to root for both, and, you know, whoever comes out on top, I'm kind of okay with. However, you know, you guys know me, I would definitely consider myself more of a Jason fan than a Freddy fan, but still, I don't like that Freddy really did get kind of the back seat when it came to this, movie, but, this movie's not that bad. The acting could be better. I mean, the Destiny Child girl, she was pretty awful. But all the other main characters are decent. The flying CGI whenever someone gets like sliced in half and they go flying through the air, yeah, that could fuck off. That's just so stupid. And like, what else about this movie can I really say? Honestly, other than that, I kind of enjoy this movie. Like I said, after Friday the 13th Part 5 in the last spot, I actually like the rest of these movies. All the rest of these movies are, I think, above like 6 out of 10 to 10 out of 10s for me. But yeah, I guess that's all I'll say for Freddy vs. Jason to keep it short and sweet. But I do enjoy this movie, but I actually enjoy Jason a lot more than Freddy in it. And you know, I don't know. Just when it comes to the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, this is where I'm going to put this movie because the rest I enjoy a little bit more. But like when I eventually rank the Friday the 13th franchise and I'm talking about this movie, it will probably be a lot higher. You know, just going to throw that out there. So that is it. That is number 6, Freddy vs. Jason. Coming in at number 5 is A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. Now, this is a weird one. This is a weird movie. Because the first time I watched it, I didn't care for it too much. The most recent rewatch, you know, this only has the first 4 movies on it. Just rewatched the first 4, obviously. Those are the only ones I needed to rewatch. Like I said, I don't watch the Part 5, Freddy's Dead, and, the remake ever again. But Part 4, okay, this movie's weird, because the first time I watched it, I didn't care for it too much. But the second watching, you know, it was a lot better. It was a lot better than I remember it being. Like, the first time I watched it, I remember not really liking it nearly that. Like, I remember just liking it a little bit more than Part 5, but honestly, it's not a terrible movie. Alice is probably my least favorite protagonist besides, you know, like the throwaway protagonists, like, whoever the chick's name is in Freddy's Dead. And of course, Rooney Mara's portrayal of Nancy, good God. Okay, but, yeah, I don't know, Alice just never caught on to me, and I hate, like, when they recasted Kristen, like, they couldn't get Patricia Arquette to come back, and they give Tuesday Night, which, by the way, what the fuck is that name? Yeah, she didn't do a good job at all. She's really bad in the role, and, you know, she's in it for very little, but Tuesday Night was just a terrible recast in my opinion. Alice is not the best. I don't love it, but I mean, it's better. The kills in this movie are where it kind of saves it for me because I actually really like some of the kills in this movie. I think my favorite kill in this movie is when is the waterbed kill with the one kid. I think it was Joey from Part 3. When he kills him, he's like, "How's this for a wet dream?" and then drowns him. I like that scene a lot. That is a really cool scene. I think that is actually one of the more iconic Freddy kills. So like that's one of the more memorable. Like before I actually watched this franchise, that was one of the kills I had seen in like clips or something. So yeah, I will say that the kills are all great. Honestly, all of them are great. I like the scene when he like pushes her into the sand and then puts the sunglasses on. If NECA ever gives us an Ultimate Part 4 Freddy, please include a sunglasses head, NECA, please. And you gotta do it eventually, right? Right? That's the next step, right? It better be. But yeah, honestly, I'll give this movie a pass. I think Part 4 is decent. I would give Part 4 a 6 out of 10, personally. I think it's okay. Not perfect. Could use some work. And I will say this. I hate that fucking scene when he's like stabbing the meatballs off of the fucking pizza and he looks at it and there's a face. He's like, "The soul food." I hate that scene, but other than that, Part 4 is a passable film in my opinion. So, with that being said, let's move on. And now we get to talk about a movie that I can't wait to talk about because this is one of the most disliked movies in the franchise, and I fucking love this movie. A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. Oh man, this movie. So, most people's problem with this movie is that it kind of just comes out of the blue and Freddy suddenly has the ability to possess people and become them. And while I don't think that's a perfect way they should have gone about doing it, I still really enjoy this movie for what it is. The beginning scene with the bus is an absolutely awesome scene. No one can take that away from this movie. That scene is amazing. And Freddy is honestly probably at his best in this movie. Now, I think I do prefer Part 3 Freddy a little bit more to this one, but I think he's actually at his best in this movie. Particularly, okay, I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place when it comes to this movie, but I have to say, I fucking love the line towards the end of the movie when Freddy takes over Jesse. What's the fuck is the girl's name? I forget the girl's name, Liz or something like that. And when he takes him over and he goes, "There is no Jesse, I'm Jesse now." I love that line, and I really don't know why. I just stabbed myself. That actually kind of hurt a little bit. These are actually kind of sharp. This NECA replica glove is not dull. But yeah, I love that line. The first time I watched that, I could not stop laughing. "I'm Jesse now." I don't know, man. I don't know why I found that line so funny, but I love that line. And then the scene with the pool party is so awesome. That is actually home to my all-time favorite Freddy line. I'm sure you're all wondering, what is my favorite Freddy line of all time? My favorite Freddy line of all time is from the pool party scene when the guy comes out and he goes, "I'm here to help you." Which, by the way, that guy's got some balls. I mean, that's probably what I would do in that situation, is try and reason with the guy. But I love that line so much when he goes, "I'm here to help you," and then he's like, "Help yourself, fucker." That is my all-time favorite Freddy line of all time. You guys can let me know in the comments. Post your favorite Freddy line of all time, but that's mine. Yeah, honestly, Freddy's Dead, I mean, there's the whole thing about the whole, this is the gayest horror film of all time, which I have got absolutely no problem with. I'm 100% against, I'm 100% against, what is the word? Being against people just for stuff like that. I'm 100% against that. Trust me, I got no problem with it. But there is that part, that whole controversy. Everyone talks about it being like the gayest horror film of all time. You got the scene with the gym teacher getting his ass smacked by Freddy. Yeah, that scene will forever live with you after you see it. But honestly, just give this movie another chance. If you don't like it, give it another chance, and you might like it a little bit more. You know, I'm actually like loosening up these fingers a little bit. That's very much helping, because these are super tight when you first get this thing out of the box. But yeah, that is number 4. That is number 4. A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. Honestly, I really enjoy this movie. I honestly do. Please, if you don't like it, go give it another watch. You might like it. I give it an 8 out of 10 personally. I really like it. Oh, and man, we gotta talk about Mark Patton. Jesse Walsh, second best protagonist of this franchise, man. He is so funny. That scream. Oh yeah, I would try it, but I don't want to wake literally everybody in the world up. So, yeah, okay, so I'll leave it there because I'm kind of running out of time here, so let's continue on. Number 4, that is it. Number 2. All right, number 4 is Part 2. Can't mix my words, of course. All right, number 3, Wes Craven's New Nightmare. What a brilliant film, honestly. I can't tell you how brilliant this movie is. Wes Craven's New Nightmare. And this movie and me, we have a bit of a weird relationship, because the first time I watched Wes Craven's New Nightmare, I did not like it whatsoever. I thought the movie was boring as fuck. Second time I watched it, oh my god, my eyes were open. I was like, this movie is brilliant. This is such an awesome movie. And now I absolutely love it. I love this movie. The acting is so fantastic. You got Heather Langenkamp to come back. Wes Craven is so great in this movie. You had the kid from Pet Sematary. Huge Pet Sematary fan, by the way. The original one, not the remake. Haven't even seen the remake yet. But yeah, that kid did a great job as well. He was very annoying, but it's like, I mean, that was kind of the point. I think he did a really good job for what he was given. Mako Hughes, I believe is his name. Really, really, really good job on that kid. And then a lot, just so many of the scenes in this movie are so cool. I like this version of Freddy, the Demon Freddy. Pretty darn cool. I think Robert Englund actually does do a really good job in the role of the Demon Freddy. And I love the final sequence of this movie when Nancy is taken to the nightmare world and there's like the snake pit and everything. Oh my god, that is one of the best scenes in this franchise. Hit the pit for the Rugrats, bitch. I love that line. That is one of my favorite lines. Yeah, that's top 5 favorite lines for sure. I love that line. And then there's he's got the giant tongue and he's like about to eat the kid. He's got the mouth all open. So awesome. That entire last sequence, perfect in my opinion. I love that final sequence. But yeah, honestly, this movie is just great. It's so brilliant. I love it so very much. Robert Englund is great in this movie as well. It's so cool to see Robert Englund not actually in the makeup and being a character on his own. I truly love this movie. Wes Craven's New Nightmare for me is a 9 out of 10. I think it's a fantastic movie. And anybody out there who was like me, who didn't like it the first time they watch it, go give it a rewatch because I guarantee you'll love it. I honestly guarantee you will love it. You gotta see the brilliance with this movie. So that is number 3, Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Now, number 2 and number 1. Okay, I tend to stick to the common formula when it comes to this. I mean, you know, in my Chucky ranking, I gave 2 to 2, and I gave the original to number 1. You guys know I'm always a fan of the original, but this is the one exception. Coming in the number 2 spot. Oh, also Friday the 13th also, which, you know, spoiler alert. Friday the 13th is not my favorite Friday the 13th movie, but this one, number 2, is the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, hear me out. I love this movie to death. It's a brilliant film. It's a fantastic film. The acting is honestly really great for this like really sleazy slasher film. Heather Langenkamp brings everything to this to Nancy. She is so fantastic. Even the girl they got to play Tina, Rod, of course Johnny Depp. They're all so great in this film. The roles are so iconic. I love them. The story is immaculate. But for me, it's just not quite as immaculate as part 3 because Freddy is honestly not like Freddy's not at his best in this movie. This is this is the Freddy that is very much I mean, I don't even really like the design all that much of this Freddy with the no sleeves on the arm and the weird like kind of like I don't know, the paint, the face paint on this one, not my favorite look for Freddy, that's all I'll say. But I mean, other than like the look of Freddy and a couple other things, this movie is goddamn perfect. I would give the original Nightmare on Elm Street a 10 out of 10, but I just feel that our number 1 spot is a better film, and that is why this movie is number 2. So hopefully, I know that this is not an uncommon opinion. I've seen multiple people put this at number 2, but for me, number 1 is A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors. Such a phenomenal film, honestly. It really, truly is. A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 is the perfect movie, and this is where I wish the franchise had just ended. Now, while I still did, you know, we got Wes Craven's New Nightmare after this, so I have to give him that, but I really wish the franchise had just ended after that, because this movie is just such a perfect way to end it. This is the best, this is the absolute best kind of, God, what's the word? The best excuse or way that the writers came up with to actually defeat Freddy. The idea that you have to find his remains, bury them with like holy water and a crucifix, and that's how you kill him. I think that is actually a really, really, really good way to go about the kind of death of Freddy. And I mean, come on, that's another thing I'll say about the part 4 real quick. The resurrection. Oh my God. Let's just leave it at that, because that resurrection, oh my God. But, yeah, I love how they went about killing him in this movie. And then the characters are fan-fucking-tastic in this film. Kristen is fantastic. You get Heather Langenkamp back, who does a kick-ass job in this film. Her Nancy portrayal is just phenomenal. She's so great in this movie. She cares so much about these kids, and it shows so well. And yeah, she's like a pro in this movie, and it's so cool to see. She's totally beaten Freddy. She's taking the pills, no longer dreaming. It's just awesome, and I love it. And you got that awesome scene when they reunite and Freddy's the worm. Such an awesome scene. And then of course all the iconic kills in this movie. How can we forget about those? Let's real quick, let me wrap up the character part. I really love Joey in this movie. I think he's a really great character. Kincaid is absolutely awesome. The Wizard Master guy, he was super cool. The kid who did the ventriloquist dummy, he was super cool. Taryn, was that her name? Taryn or Tara or something like that. You know, the drug addict chick. All the characters are great. I love them all. Even Lawrence Fishburne's character in this movie is really, really, really great. I love the characters in this film. Oh, and also, I forget his name. The doctor. The doctor was awesome. That actor did such a great job. I love that doctor. I wish I knew, God, who the hell played that actor? Oh, man. Who the hell played that character? God, I really don't know who played that character. That is such a great, the doctor. Dr. Gordon, I think. Is it Dr. Gordon? Am I confusing that with Saw? I might be confusing that with Saw. I think it's Dr. Gordon. He was really, really great. I love all the characters in this film. But another thing, obviously the kills. We gotta talk about the kills. Some of the most iconic kills in the franchise. You got, welcome to prime time, bitch. You got, what's the matter, Joey? Feeling tongue-tied? Okay, guys, that's not actually a kill. That wasn't technically a kill. That was a coma inducer. And then, oh, of course, you got, sorry, kid, I don't believe in fairy tales. And then there's, oh man, how can we forget, let's get high. Just The amount of iconic lines and kills in this film could fill a fucking, could fill a Stephen King book up with how many iconic lines you get in this film. Oh, and who can forget the puppet scene? Oh man, that scene scarred me for life when I first saw it, when his, tendons start coming up and he has to, and he, slices them and flicks them off of the window. Fucking love the kills in this movie. They are brilliant. They are amazing. This movie is amazing. A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors is a perfect film. I give it an 11 out of 10. I think it's a perfect movie. Alright guys, with that being said, that is all 9 Nightmare on Elm. I keep confusing Friday the 13th with Nightmare on Elm Street. That is all 9 of the movies ranked. Let me know your guys' ranks your ranking in the comment section down below. And yeah, definitely tell me why, if you like the original more than Part 3. Definitely let me know why. I'm very curious. I really like knowing people's reasoning for that. It just makes me, I'm just curious about it is all. I do agree that they're both very close. You couldn't fit a razor blade between how much I love Part 3 over Part 1. Really, they're this close. They're neck and neck. But yeah, that is my ranking. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more NECA and movie ranking content. And you know what? While you're at it, throw in the comments what you want the next ranking to be. The next one will be Saw, because that's going to be my Halloween special. But after that one, let me know in the comments what franchise you want me to rank next. You want Friday the 13th, Hellraiser? God forbid I got some shit to say about the Hellraiser movies. Scream, Halloween. Oh no, you don't want Halloween. Don't recommend Halloween. I will get so much hate on that video. Yeah, let me know in the comments what franchise would you like me to rank next. So with that being said, everybody, thank you all so much for thank you all so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. And this is DK Guillotine, all signing out. Help yourself, fucker.